And welcome to Getting Help from Uncle Sam. And of course, you pay your money to the government. It's called taxes. Government's supposed to do something for you. Two things: make sure that you're getting good services and make sure that it's done in an efficient manner. Guess what? Doesn't work that way. So we have Congressman Barry Moore with us again. You've been up there now for a couple of years. You're moving right along. It's been an experience.
Yeah, that
but
would
at
be
the
an
same,
understatement.
and I want to applaud you because you don't mind taking a stand.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
And then
that.
we've sent a little note out saying if somebody wants something, a lot of times people are kind of shy. If you believe in something, you don't mind putting your name where it counts.
It's just kind of the fabric I was cut from, Jack. So I tell everybody, this job is not hard to do if you do what you tell people you're going to do. And so we always make sure that we try to deliver on what we told. And if you run true to yourself and you just speak truth to people as they make their decision to vote for you, then they know what they're getting. It's not going to be it's not going to be a quick swap. They're not going to be surprised by what we do. And so now I will say this: the system does get its hooks in people sometimes.
Sure.
And try to pull them in different directions, but so far we've been able, through a lot of prayer and just a good staff, to keep ourselves grounded and continue to serve the people and do what we told people we would do.
Okay, so let's talk about money, because all of us, and this is something all of my viewers, because when I talk with them, they talk about these different things. We are giving Ukraine billions of dollars.
That's exactly right.
Now, who makes the decision of, first of all, are we going to give them that money? And second of all, how much money it's going to be? The other day, Yeltsin was over there. Janet, wasn't her Janice is her first name? Yeah, Janet.
Yeah.
She's over there all happy, giving somebody $1 billion check. Well, first of all, it's not your money.
Amen.
It's our money. And who said you can do that? So how does that happen?
So what happens is you get a group in Congress, and we had bipartisan support. Now, I didn't support this funding to Ukraine, but they think that, hey, we want to spend this money in Ukraine. And, and I understand to an extent that we wanted to help Ukraine in some way.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the same crowd.
We're not the only guy.
We're at $111 billion, Jack, we spent in Ukraine.
I know.
And Trump, when he wanted to build a border wall for $4 billion, they like to had a heart attack and said it was too much money. And here we are, $111 billion. And all we want is oversight. Because, like I know, they're a young democracy. And that money is not going to defend that country. I don't think it's staying in that country. In some ways, some of it is. But I've talked to soldiers where they're delivering weaponry to a field, and in the middle of the night it disappears. We need oversight. I mean, if we're spending the people's money, we want to make sure that it's accounted for. That's our responsibility. And so, again, I haven't supported that because I think it's a bit risky in a sense that it endangers our nation.
So who set the amount of money? Let's just to make it simple, $100 billion. Did the legislature say, that's it, $100 billion, and then give it to the president, use it however is the best?
It started out, and I think it comes through some of the committees in Congress.
Okay.
And, you got intel committees, you got House Armed Services, different committees kind of appropriate those funds and they're working with the defense forces and our guys at the allies in NATO saying, hey, they need these missiles or they need this, and that's understandable, but it goes in waves. One time it was $30 billion, and then the next week it's $11 billion. Before long, you're at $111 billion now.
Yeah.
So it went in phases. It didn't go all at once, but it seems like most often around $30 billion a pop is what we've been doing. And I just can't for the life of me understand, if we can't account for the money, why are we doing it?
And we don't put caps on anything, it doesn't seem. In other words,
only on Social Security, right?
Oh, yeah.
We put caps on that, right?
Amen.
Medicare. Yeah, we hurt the
Yes.
people who paid in. The veterans benefits, they're capped. But
Yes.
everybody else gets stuff for free, and there's no accountability. It drives me crazy.
And especially when you talked about the $5 billion that Trump wanted to build the wall.
That's right.
So if you were to say, if we invested that money, how much money have we spent because there's no wall there? Would it be, do you have a figure on that?
I have heard numbers, but it's going to be the human cost. If we just didn't put a number,
Right.
If we didn't put a number
not
on
all
the
about
dollars,
money all the time.
But here's the thing, Jack. When the illegals come across the border, they turn themselves into a border patrol agent. They get an MTA, which is a motion to appear in court. Then they're eligible for American taxpayer dollars in the form of subsidies to the tune of $800 a month, and we give them a free cell phone. So they get a free cell phone, $800 a month, and then we call them to come back to court, and they don't take our calls.
Okay, so who approved that?
So I don't know. That's coming through Mayorkas and some of the guys in the Department of Homeland, because it's not anything that I've ever seen a number on. It's just And it's probably in some of that COVID spending, we spent so much money, so many trillions of dollars. We spent more supposedly fighting COVID than we did fighting World War II. So there's money out there. And these agencies, they move that money around. They got a pool of money here, a pool of money there. I don't know who decided to buy cell phones and to make these people eligible. But again, it goes back to enforcing the laws on the books and turning them away at the border, and we're simply not doing that.
Well, and again, like I said at the onset here, it's all about money.
Amen.
You know, it's in other words, a veteran may not get a benefit, so that person can walk around with that didn't get in here legally.
Jack, when I was early in my term, the rumor on the street was they were going to take people from the Veterans Affairs offices and send them to the border to process people coming in. And I thought, I raised sand. I gave a speech on the floor about it, and they walked that back. But they were literally going to take people away from the VA who served our veterans and put them on the border to take care of people coming here illegally who have never done anything for this country.
Absolutely. And then we throw money at education.
Yes.
That's, in other words, again, there's no caps on anything. It doesn't seem, okay, you hit your limit, stop, come back. You know, when you have kids, you give them an allowance, right?
That's right.
And if they say, well, I need a little bit of extra money, you come back to dad, and he does it.
Or you get a job.
That's what. Or you get a job. But that's right.
Yeah, you hit on something there. You're exactly right. We have accountability here in this country for the veteran, for the person who's receiving Social Security, yet zero accountability for the billions we're sending overseas.
That's right.
And I just cannot, for the life of me, wrap my head around why we as a nation do not take care of the Americans first. It's not a selfish thing, but like I know, if you're on an airplane and the oxygen mask drop out, what do they tell you to do? Put it on the child first and then put yours on.
Right.
Or they say put yours on first.
That's
and
right.
Then the child.
To
so we as a nation have got to make
sure that you're being able to take care of that
you
other.
Can do it.
You can't be healthy
if you're not. If you're
not healthy, you can't
right?
help the other one.
And as a country, we're in the same boat. We better get healthy here and take care of ourselves. It's not a selfish thing, but if we're going to be a lighthouse, a light to the world, like we're supposed to be, and a center of opportunity and economic growth to help other countries, especially third world countries, we've got to take care of our own health here financially and every other kind of health before we can assist others.
And then again, we put together a budget, and then it doesn't mean. And how can these things be so many pages long? Who can read it all?
There's so much.
And there's so much, so much.
One thing that I will encourage you, Jack, since we passed the new rules for the House and the Speaker vote, it drug out for a little while. Kevin McCarthy really had to work, but we do actually now have a process. We're going to bring 12 appropriations bills, and we've said, okay, if it's not germane, you can't pack a bunch of stuff in.
Good.
So we're going to clean up some of that. Just bear with us.
Great. Well, thank you so much for what you're doing. And remember, your congressman is here to serve you. He has congressional offices in the 2nd Congressional District. This is where the majority of this program airs. So if you need any information or you need any help, give them the call. They're here to serve, and we'll be right back right after this.